listen, Alice in Borderland is a show that I heard about, never watched it. This past weekend, we binge watched both seasons. And I have to say, better than Squid Games. One of the best shows I've ever seen. I now want to start reading manga. And I loved it so much. It is so
loud.
Because I'm excited. It was so well done. It was so intense, so played with your emotions. You fall in love with the characters. The storyline was amazing. The acting was brilliant. I can't get season 7's fight scene out of my head. I have like post-traumatic stress.
Season 7? What are you talking about?
Episode 7. Season 2, episode 7's fight scene I can't get out of my head. So we're going to react to Brain Pilot's Alice in Borderland Season 2 Ending Explained video.
This is like spoiled though, so if you guys haven't watched it yet, I recommend to watch it first and then maybe come to us later.
It's raining spoilers here. But I think we're going to watch this, skip around a little bit, but also react and hear and listen. And, we have our own theory about the ending and we just want to talk about it because we loved it so much. Okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
That's it. That's all there is to it. That's all. This is just a Alice in Borderland fan video, really.
To find out why Arisu and all of the other main characters were being forced to compete in games based on cards in order to get back to the real world. Or at least it seemed as though we did until the dreaded Joker card was remaining on the table in the hospital. With the group going through multiple games, surviving immense battles and finding out why they were stuck there, I thought I'd recap, break down, and explain all that there was to take away from this season of the show.
Cool.
So let's get into it.
Yes.
Here is Alice in Borderland Season 2 Ending Explained.
Awesome.
Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers.
Raining
As we
spoilers.
approached the final episode of the season, we'd seen the group split up at the start, work their way through multiple games such as a few different versions of tag, dodgeball, a probability game of guessing and outsmarting your opponent, and also one where they needed to find out who was lying. Obviously, all of the games had deadly consequences, but it got down to a point where there were only 2 face cards left. And one of those was the King of Spades, who was essentially running a free-for-all where you had to defeat him.
He was fucking crazy.
We did see him get defeated during the climax, but we saw that most of the main characters took severe damage in trying to defeat him.
This episode, man, destroyed me. It destroyed me. There was something so insanely intense and visceral about watching, particularly the women, get hurt like that for some reason. I don't know why. For me, but it really affected me. I don't know. How did you feel?
It's so traumatized.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was an incredibly and like the choreography, the way they did the fight scene, and there was like no music. It was one of those silent fight scenes.
Yeah,
I love when they do that.
I love when they do that.
Oh, so good.
Quina, Usagi, Anne, Akana, and Aguni all got badly hurt, with Anne actually succumbing to the injuries. However, due to the explosive plan, we saw that it damaged the King of Spades enough, and Aguni then went on to take him out. This then left the final game, and it was a version of croquet with the Queen of Hearts. All Arisu had to do was complete the game to win. There was no point scoring, just the pure completion of the 3 sets, no forfeiting and no quitting. It was here where we saw the first 2 sets get played. But then they stopped for tea where Mira, who was the queen, went on to trick him on multiple occasions in giving him false answers that he was looking for. These were centered around the reason as to why they were there, what happened after the fireworks, and how they could return home. He was put to the test to forfeit the game, which would mean that he would die. But due to Usagi telling him how much he meant to her, and that he gave her meaning to continue on to fight, we saw him not give in, and thus ultimately completed all of the face cards. We saw him and the others being met with a decision on if they wanted permanent residency in the country that they were in, which was filled with violence. But we saw all of the main characters, other than the survivors of the solitary confinement game, choose to decline it. This was then when we found out what had actually happened.
At Booking.com, we don't limbo.
And the reason is...
Since we were hit with an ad, let's just talk a little bit about it. So I thought that... I was surprised to see that it was like a asteroid impact, and that they all were in this like kind of after death, like near death experience, right? Like they were all kind of like 1 minute being dead, heart stopped, put them, had them living out this reality all that time, right? Like however long this was, playing all these games in this complexity. I think that's a very interesting idea.
It's like once it's come to the last episode, it really makes sense when they said at least in Borderland. It's like really makes sense. Also, like I feel like this show kind of remind me when they said that when if you guys watch Harry Potter, the last one, remember when Dumbledore said, like, when Harry asked, hey, this is like happenings in my head or it's actually real. And Dumbledore said, of course it's happening in your head, but it doesn't mean it's not real.
Yes, exactly.
That's like right there, like exactly, right here. So is this real? Yes. Is this just like in your head? Yes, maybe. Yes, actually yes, but also real.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Just had faint memories, as we saw Usagi did vaguely recognize him. With regards to the Joker card, it certainly made out that there was going to be a Season 3 of the show.
I hope so.
With the cards being done, the face cards being done in Season 2, there are 2 Joker cards in a traditional deck of cards. So it could mean that all isn't as it seems, and this could just be another layer within the world of Borderland. But we'll have to wait for Season 3 to see if that's the case. I think this is a good ending to the show if it is the case, but I'd definitely be open to watching more. I thought Season 2 of the show was pretty good. The creativity and the creation of the games that they play, along with the tension and visual spectacle that we get when watching them, leaves me hanging off the edge of my seat for the duration. Whilst there are a lot of main characters to follow in the show, all of the stories are individually entertaining. However, you do sense the hierarchy of importance. Anne and Quina were absent for most of the season and only really fell into importance in the penultimate episode. The same applied with Naragi. It was setting itself up nicely early on for him to be a villain that caused more trouble than what he did. Chishiya was definitely one of my favourite characters.
Of course.
Intelligent, calm-headed.
You loved him.
I love him.
You loved him. She was so upset when he got shot.
Yeah, so upset.
You like had a panic attack. I think you went on your phone and you were like looking, did he die? And I naturally got jealous because it looked like you wanted to...
You jealous for the character in the show.
Well, he's awesome.
It's and like I'm not even a real person.
Yeah, I got jealous.
Okay.
Anyway, let's just talk about the ending, right? Because this is what he was kind of getting to here, the Joker ending. I think it sets up for Season 3 that the Joker is the creator, and thus this is kind of all still part of the Borderland world, right?
That's just assumption. We don't know that.
Or that actually could, like he said, that actually would be a very suitable just ending to the whole show. That it kind of leaves you guessing, right? Like, okay, what does that mean? The Joker, right? Like maybe this is all a game, or it implies life is a game, and this is the final game, just being alive, right? And it's all part of something greater, and that's fine. That's how it ends. But of course, as a fan of the show, I want Season 3. Of course, I hope it means something more, right?
Can we continue?
Okay.
And coolness that this character embodied was always so relaxing to watch. He mastered every game that he took his hand to, and it really allowed you to feel immersed within it, due to the calm nature that he embodied. The episode lengths are something that I do feel need addressing. There were several episodes over an hour, and the finale was almost an hour and a half, which I do think is a lot. Despite only being 8 episodes in length, it probably has the runtime of a traditional 12-episode show. I'm not complaining, as I did really enjoy the show, but sometimes it did just feel like it went on for a little while. I wish we got some more screen time with some more games in this season, as I feel we only really had 3 or 4 full-length games in this season. My favourite was definitely Osmosis or Solitary Confinement. The trickery within both of them at the end was great to witness. I thought the ending of the show was a good way for the entirety of Alice in Borderland to wrap up, if that is the case. We now know what happened, why it happened, how they ended up in Borderland, and now we've seen them return home. I don't feel like there needs to be another season, despite the fact I do really enjoy it. If it were to wrap up there, I think it would be appropriate. I also like the idea of the Joker card being a joke on us. The fact it made out like there was more to offer, but in fact, they've pulled the Joker card and it's just a trick. That would be my preference anyway. Whilst that would be the ending in my ideal world, I don't think that's going to be the case due to it being a popular show. So I imagine we'll see some fresh ideas in the 3rd season of the show if and when it does return. So, there you have it. Alice in Borderland Season 2, ending explained.
Thank you. Great video. Yeah, I agree with him. Like, it could actually be a really suitable ending, right?
Yeah, it could just like end right there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just loved it. I was so just into it, and it was so well done. It was so intense. I just felt the need to do this.
Also, if you guys do a little bit like, if you guys do like research a little bit, if you compare the character from the manga, pretty good cast.
Pretty good cast. You showed me. It's
like
pretty good.
Pretty good cast. Sometimes it's not about like the face itself, but like if you just see the picture, maybe you could be like, it's not really good cast. But if you see them in the movie, how they play, how they act.
Pretty spot on.
They really good. They like pretty nailed the character. I love the show. 1 out of 10, how much you give this show? Be honest.
The way I'm feeling right now, 10. Wow. But maybe more realistically after time goes on, like a 9 or 9.5.
I never heard you give anything 10 except like...
Your banana cream pie.
No, Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about shows. Breaking Bad was a 10.
Yeah, Ozark.
And Ozark.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.